this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Class is in session. Please be seated. Behaviors that get attention get repeated. Avoid the power struggle cause it will get you heated. Listen to Amanda cause she knows how to teach it. Yo, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Yeah, yeah,
Punch Show. Happy Monday afternoon. I'm your host, Amanda Houle, founder of Parenting with the Punch. ParentingWithThePunch.com to learn all the ways that you can work with me. And I am here today with my special guest, Lynette Evans, co-founder of the Mama Ladder International. I'm so excited to bring her here. They work with mamas specifically with business strategies to help you grow your business as an entrepreneur and hopefully leave the corporate world. So let's please give a warm welcome to Lynette. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Amanda. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So great to have you on.
Thank you. It's so good to be on. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. So I'd love to hear more about your business, and I'm sure our viewers would love to know what the Mama Ladder is all about.
So the Mama Ladder is an international. It's for mamas all over the world. We want to have access to everyone all over the world. It is essentially a company that will help mamas who want to create their own ladder, for moms that want to step aside from the corporate world, or even if they're like a play-at-home mama, then they can still make that leap and create their own ladder to do something that they want to do. So essentially, it's helping moms thrive in business and mom life. And I think part of the vision behind it is actually helping moms that want to spend more time with their kids, want to spend more time at home, want to kind of have that ideal balance of work life and home life. Yeah. It's kind of a way to help them thrive in doing that. We have different resources and tools and products for that. So
absolutely. So exciting. You're the co-founder. You have a partner.
Correct. Yeah. Krista Lee Beck is my partner. And yeah, we've been doing this for over a year now, and it's been such a great journey. It's been really good.
Very cool. And I know you guys have been working on, you just recently had a network series. I'm sorry, I can't recall like what.
Was it the challenge? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, the challenge that you were doing.
Yeah, so just this past week we had a challenge, and it's called Multiply Yourself, Multiply your business. Getting some love there, huh?
Yeah, we got some love who joined us today. So anyone watching live.
So the challenge was specifically a challenge leading up to one of the products that we have, one of the services. And basically it's a bundle of services, because every mom, I think, feels like if they could just clone themselves, if they could multiply themselves. I think I personally feel more like I just need 2 more hands. If I could just have 2 more hands.
Yeah, right?
And I think that's mostly because I have a baby right now, so I feel like I've like got him on my hip half the time. And so if I had 2 more hands, I could do this and hold him.
Right.
So if there's a way to clone yourself, multiply yourself. So essentially what we have is kind of a way to bundle services that a lot of mom entrepreneurs need, and really it's for any entrepreneur if they need help with services like taxes, the financial aspect, legal services, just getting help with things like client terms and agreements, especially for the online industry. So we have legal help, financial help, as well as PR, marketing assistants. So I think it's really hard because as moms, we're used to doing it all. But I think if we can outsource some of that, especially in the entrepreneurial world, it makes a huge difference. So yeah, web design, things like that. And we're trying to create bundles that essentially business owners can use products and services from different teams. They can get services, but at a lower price. So if we bundle them together, I mean, it's kind of like Costco. If you can get, you know, if Costco contracts with a company, they can sell at a lower cost and you get awesome deals at Costco or whatever. So it's kind of that idea is that you can get these products and services from these different companies that you need as a mom. So I don't know if that makes sense.
No. Oh, absolutely. Because I mean, as we know, as entrepreneurs, there's so many pieces to the puzzle and growing a business. And when you have all of those specialists for each of the different areas of need for your business, it is, it's huge. And especially for moms probably just starting out. So that's really, really cool. I love that.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. And it's it's so functional and it's so practical because everyone needs their taxes done, right? So it's nice because you can get them at a great price with all of the services bundled. So we're really excited about it. We hope that the women that we're telling about it can see the value in it because we think it's so, so valuable.
No, absolutely. I think so. It's just a matter of people actually, you know, learning about the service, right? Which is part of the whole online piece of building a business online. And so that's the challenge was last week. So it was kind of, we had all of our kind of business team members share a little bit about their service and a little bit about their offerings. So things like the financial side, the legal side, the PR side, all of that. And so it was kind of challenging moms, our mompreneurs, to get into it and jump in. And then this week the registration's open. So if anyone wants to jump in and check it out, then I think they'll find that there's some great options there. So that's excellent. Very cool. Now, do you guys also have a retreat coming up? Am I right?
Yeah, it's actually just in a couple of weeks. We're excited because we've been planning it for so long. So we're super excited about it.
Now, where it's in March or in April?
It is in March, and it's the weekend. It's actually, why am I spacing on the holiday? St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day.
It's that weekend. Yeah, it's the weekend of St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, it's Mama Spring Break. So it's going to be great. It's a business and adventure retreat. So we're going to Zion's National Park it's right outside of St. George, Utah. And it's so beautiful there. So we're excited because we're kind of mixing both the adventure, outdoor enjoyment side of a spring break and also getting some business training for moms that are interested and getting some help and some services. So we're really excited. We have a great lineup. So
that's awesome. Did you guys fully book out?
We didn't this year. This is our first year. And so we're just getting started. We don't have any of our marketing and stuff up yet. Well, I mean, we have a full website and everything. You can check it out at themamaladder.com/mamaspringbreak. But we don't have all of the photos and the videos that we want to be able to show people how fun it's going to be and how great it's going to be. So we didn't completely book out, but we have a great group of women coming, and we also have guest speakers also that are specialists in the areas like legal, finance. We have a great keynote speaker. She's the editor-in-chief of a few magazines actually, and so she's fantastic. We're excited to learn from her.
That's awesome. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. We want you to come.
I know. Well, I'm not
have to be
yet, but
You're practically a mom with all your kids. You help out.
Oh my goodness! In fact, I just had a conversation today with a family. The reality of it is once I do have my own family, how much time am I actually going to, be able to do as much, or I should say as much, right? Because I work a lot of evenings right now, so
yeah.
But get
just
me
less
while
sleep,
you can.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, what would you? I'd love to know, the balance between mamahood and, working as an entrepreneur, like how would you, or like, what do you typically say to clients that are looking to like venture off into that world of entrepreneurship?
It's a really good question because it looks different, I think, for every person. I mean, the balance aspect looks different for every person, every mom.
Thanks, Michelle.
So it's hard to give an answer that fits every person, but that's kind of what the Mama Ladder is about. It's about creating what works for you and what your priorities are. We have some women that would like to work 20 hours a week and they don't want to work anymore, but we have some women that are ready to work 40 hours. They would go insane if they're with their kids all day, every day.
Right.
So so it's different for every person, but that's kind of the vision behind the Mama Ladder, is creating your own ladder, what works for you. So I would say probably some of the best advice is to just separate it clearly, so that it isn't mixed, that it doesn't overlap. Because I think once you start, I think you have to make a clear decision in your mind how much time you want to invest in your business every day, every week, whatever it's going to be, and then set aside the time specifically for it. Because otherwise it kind of gets a little bit muddled. But I think when you have a clear picture of how much time you want to invest, then you can go at your own pace. You can manage it how you would like to. Does that make sense to your question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be different for every single client. I mean, that's just
exactly.
It has to be catered and individualized. I mean, that's for sure just how it rolls in the world of entrepreneurship, I think.
Yeah. And I think if you set the priority in your mind with time, because I think a lot of times it comes down to the time aspect. So I think if you set it in your mind, so I think for women, a lot of the difficulty is even if they have time away from maybe a corporate job or another job, it's kind of like, well, I would need childcare. So I think it's a matter of deciding ahead of time and making that commitment to yourself or to your business by saying, okay, then I'm going to get childcare, noon to 2 during nap time or whatever the case may be, so that they can balance it by deciding ahead of time, if that makes sense. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, so one of the 4 pillars of my business is mindset. So would you, is it safe to say that mindset, and you would agree that is a huge piece of being an entrepreneur and mom and balancing the two?
Oh, absolutely. I think a big part of the mindset is creating the vision of what you want. I think if you can decide ahead of time, then the rest is just kind of putting things into line in the appropriate, schedule, calendar, however you want to say it, but just kind of lining it up how it would work. But I think when you really, and one of our mantras is ask for what you want. So, and whether it's asking your higher power or the universe or whatever you want to say. But I think part of that is really asking yourself too, like, what do I want? How much time do I want to put towards my family? How much time do I want to put towards my business? Or, and most people that do this are doing this for their family or for their future, or for their potential future family, So I think if you can ask yourself what you want and then create the vision of how that would look and how you want it to look, then I think you're more prone to set up something that fits exactly what you want. And it really is something that it's your own balance. It doesn't have to be like, 20 hours at home, 20 hours here. It may be 10 hours of work. It may be, but I think that's the beauty of it. You can go at your own pace. I mean, starting is more than nothing. So I think some people feel pressure like, oh, there's these big corporations, I have to be like them, but I don't think that's the case. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what I often hear too, and I'm sure you probably hear this from clients, especially when they're just starting out or even having that initial conversation with you, is the guilt, the mom guilt. Would you?
Yeah, that's a big thing. I think it's something that we're prone to feel as, I think, as women, just in general, of, what are the other needs? I think we're naturally caregivers. We want to care. So even whether you're a mom or not, I think there's always potentially some guilt of the opportunity cost of something. Like, what are you saying no to? If you're saying yes to your business, or if you're saying yes to something else, then what are you saying no to? So yeah, I think that can be a very tricky thing, but I think, it's also so important to care for yourself. And
I was just thinking that.
and I think that if you decide how that works for you and how that looks for you, and you want to be able to, to really maximize your gifts and strengths and talents that you want to share, not just with your children, but also outside of the home. I think that, for me, that's part of my self-care. That's part of my fulfillment in life, and what makes life meaningful to me. So
I love that. I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's such, and I think too, what's really important for moms who are listening, whether or not they're catching the replay or catching it, the audio version, is self-care is going to look different too for everybody, right? You got to start somewhere. You got to start small, whether or not it is, taking 10 minutes to read a book that you enjoy, or getting a massage. I think a lot of parents get, and again, obviously, especially the moms, with the whole guilt piece, is they feel guilty about even just taking, 2 hours to spend alone. And that can look, whether or not that's like go grabbing a coffee, or meeting a friend for a coffee, or even grabbing, being out social at night. I just encourage, the mamas out there to just, look at that and figure out how you can, like, not, beat yourself up, taking that self-care time, because essentially that really is such a huge piece of, any fulfillment that you're going to get, and it's going to carry over into your own, self, and then business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think part of it is that, and I think for me personally, when I walk away from parenting for, like you're saying, whether it be an hour, half an hour, whatever it is, or 3 hours, and I come back to it, I feel like I'm a better mom. And so I think it's different for every person what that balance is, like we just spoke about. But I think that sometimes it's a matter of quality over quantity, taking the time away from your kids might actually be giving them something else. In some ways it's giving them more, because your bucket's filled, however you want to say it, but you're fulfilled by sharing your talents, your gifts, by challenging yourself, by stretching yourself. And I think your kids learn from that too. So I think there's a lot to be said for creating it how you want to, so that it does become actually a strength for your family, for yourself, instead of feeling like it's pulling away from your family.
No, I totally agree. And I love that perspective, because I think it's really, really hard, important for moms to hear that. Because, it's something that they struggle with every day, especially when it comes to asking for support.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I'd love to hear too. So, come with the self-care, the communication, as far as like communicating, let's say, to your significant other that you need that time to step away, or however that looks for, each family. Would you agree that having that open communication, like in your personal and family life, helps you to build more strength and foundation in your business?
Do you mean communicating those needs, or that kind of what your balance is?
So just being open to like vocalizing, I think, your needs and like what it is that you want, I guess is what I'm trying to say, because that's something, another common theme that I see, in families that I work with, but then, of course, some of them are also entrepreneurs. So just being able to have that balance and how they, when they communicate it in their personal and family lives, it shows up in their business. So they're able to be more, I guess, leaders, if you will.
Yeah, I think if I understand you correctly, I think it's a matter, for example, with myself, I think when I communicate ahead of time to my husband and to my family that there's this expectation and this knowledge that, this time is set aside for me to work on the Mama Ladder and this or our event or whatever the case may be, I think there's less likely to be any disillusionment or dissatisfaction because they know what to expect. They know that, this is the time that I have for this. If I set aside my time for this, then my kids kind of know this is what happens. My husband kind of knows this is what happens, and they're able to support it better. So I think kind of like I was saying at the beginning also that when you decide ahead of time, it's just a matter of kind of putting your ducks in a row of how it's gonna be carried out. When you create the vision of what you want, then I think when you vocalize why it's important to you and what it's all about, then I think your tribe, your team, your family, whoever can support you a lot more on it and cheer you on the side. And even your kids, I think your kids can be a support to you when they know what it's about and what it's for and how it fulfills you. I think your family wants to help you and support you in your dreams and goals and everything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Is the website? Can you see your website on the bottom?
Not in my view here, but I have it pulled up on my computer. But
I just wanted to make sure because I have it in here, and I was trying to show it to make sure anybody watching, but. Again, it is the mamaladderinternational.com, correct?
Not the international is not actually on the website, the URL. It's just the mamaladdер.com. So
got it. Okay.
So and then for our challenge right now, you can go to I think it's /multiply because we're trying to multiply.
It's on your website.
Yeah, you can get
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Mama Spring Break. I think it's just /Mama Spring Break, the mamaladdер.com /Mama Spring Break. So.
Awesome. Very cool. Now, so we kind of already touched upon it, but what is one thing that you would advise for any mamas out there that are looking to venture out into the entrepreneurial world? Like, what would you say would be the first step to sort of like taking that leap?
I think, like you said, we kind of did already allude to it, but I think it really is a big part of it is the mindset of making the choice in your head, in your mind, in your soul of what you want, and then creating it, just creating your vision because it's only yours. No one else can create something. Someone might try to create something similar to it, but I think that with that. It's not just about creating the product or the service or whatever, but it's also about creating the experience, how you want it to look, creating the pace that you want to go at, the style. I guess, does that make sense? So
100%.
The whole experience.
Yes.
Because I think there's a lot of pressure to create something you've seen before.
Right.
In the sense of, if I start a business, it's supposed to look like this because that's how I've seen it done. But I don't think we realize sometimes how much flexibility or decision-making capacity we have in it. Yes. I think sometimes we feel like, well, if I start my own business, then I have to do it this way, or I have to put this much time into it. But I think,
or spend this much money.
Yes, absolutely. Or I have to invest this much in Facebook ads or that, but I don't think that I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do things. And I don't think that there is, if anything, I think we may be hindered by comparing or looking at how we think it should be done. I think there's great ways to do things, and I think it's so important to learn from mentors and exemplars and people in the industry that we want to go into. But I think it's also really important to trust our instincts and our sense about where we want things to go or where we want to take things, if that makes sense. But
I completely agree with you. I think that's definitely important for, anyone that's watching, our audience to hear, because it's definitely a deciding factor in deciding to take that plunge. So thank you for sharing.
I think that's the biggest thing, is just deciding, because I think that once you decide, then one thing falls after the other. I think sometimes we feel like we have to have all the answers at once, but I think that once you realize, if you just take that first step, and you don't give up, it doesn't matter if you're going slow. But if you I think my partner would be okay with me sharing this, but she's kind of shared an experience how when she with not this business, but her other business, when she decided to take the leap to get her business license, she kind of just felt like, and I'm trying to speak for her, so hopefully she's supportive of this. But I think it was like, that was the step, and for me, I think it was different. My first step was different, but I think sometimes it's just that first step, and then everything falls after that. And it may be quick at first, it may go slow, it may go quickly, but I think that sometimes it's just a matter of like showing that you're ready to take that step, and then things fall into place after that.
Yeah, no, and we can obviously both attest to, once you start showing up and you put yourself out there and you tell the universe, this is what I want to do, and you don't give up, like amazing things can happen. Yeah. And it takes time for, everyone's going to have a different experience in terms of like what that's going to look like, or what the business is. I think also can play a huge role in how quickly, it may, go faster or progress further. But yeah, no, it's and being an entrepreneur is such an amazing ride. I absolutely love it.
I have really enjoyed it too. I think it really challenges your creativity.
Yes.
But it's enjoyable because it's yours. It's kind of like having a family. I think it's kind of like one of those things where, like, I might be like inflicting my child with this tendency that I have, this culture that I'm creating, but I'm also creating this beautiful culture, this beautiful experience for them with who I am. So I think it's the same thing with business. Your personality, your skills, your strengths, and even your weaknesses come out in your business like they come out in your family. But I think it creates, that's what adds to the character of your business and your life. So. Right.
Yep. No, my business is my baby. I don't be able to, everything that goes into it, the creativity to be able to, decide everything, how you want to run your business, from just like, showing up authentically and being true to who you are. I think it's so telling in, who we are as women and individuals. And it shows, it lights you up, and then you're carrying that over into all areas of your life. And I just, it's awesome. Yeah, for sure.
And, I think the interesting thing, I think a lot of women are kind of intimidated by business. A lot of us aren't bred to be like business people. We think of like Wall Street when we think of business, or we think of the corporate world. Yes. But I think that when you realize it's it doesn't have to be that way. It's about who you are that adds the dimension, adds the grit to kind of create a great experience for your customer and everything. I think it's important to think that.
It is, yeah. And the truth of the matter is too, and especially in the work that we do, more of like the coaching and working more one-to-one. I don't like to call myself a coach, but I am. But they're essentially hiring you, like who you are as a person, right? If they don't like you or they don't, trust you, who you are as an individual, then they're not going to end up working with you. So that's what's great too, because you're working with people that you are going to be drawn to. Like, when you are yourself, those are the people that you're going to attract into your world and in your circle and in your business. So that's what I love too about the creativity. I think it's
exactly. You don't have to be something you're not, because people want you. They want your skills. And this is something totally different, but I am a nurse practitioner, and I obviously went to nursing school, and just even in my undergrad, going through nursing school to become a registered nurse before I went to grad school and became a nurse practitioner, I remember feeling like I was a poser. Like, I kind of remember when you're learning how to be someone or something or fill this role, you kind of, all you have in your head is how other people portray that or how other people make that look. So, in my whole life, I'd seen different nurses and how they function. And we go in and we do clinical experiences and we watch these different nurses. But I remember kind of feeling like a poser. And to some extent, I remember my professor saying, well, fake it till you make it. I'm taking someone's blood pressure and I'm like, I think, am I doing this right? And obviously you don't fake the important things in medicine. Right. But my point being, I remember kind of feeling like they're looking at me like I'm the expert. And I kind of feel like I don't know that I can give them all this great counsel. But I think like it's interesting how just the longer you do something, the more it becomes you. And I'm so comfortable now. Yes. In giving people medical counsel and advice and guidance, because it's like it's become me and it's become who I am. But I remember at first kind of feeling like I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse practitioner. So I guess why I'm saying, we look at like the corporate business world and we think we're supposed to look like this. But I think that once you make that decision, like we're saying, just the matter of just making a decision, creating the vision in your head and deciding that's you, that's who you are, and really owning it. And like you're saying, showing up and just continuing forward and not giving up. I think that's where you really take ownership of integrating, whether it be entrepreneurship or anything in life. Like I think you really just create it for yourself and really become what your vision may be. So
no, absolutely. And as we know too, like it ebbs and flows. And as you go through the process, you're learning so much more about yourself and you're able to be that much more honest, I think, or just like putting yourself out there on another level. I like to call it like up leveling. And, it's important, I think, too, for, mamas to know that it's not going to look the same when you first start out, even 3 months down the line or 6 months down the line. Like it evolves, and it's such an amazing feeling. I just keep going back to that because I know for myself, as a business owner, like I've evolved so much. My business, my branding, like everything has transformed since the beginning. So.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes we feel like we're I don't know, inadequate or something if we don't have this best version or we don't present the best version right away. But one of our mentors has counseled us, like sometimes the most important thing is just getting to market, like just starting. And you think of, even Apple, you think of like iPhones and how they come out with a newer version and an updated version and all these system updates all the time for iPhones. And so I think sometimes we create this expectation for us that isn't even held by these very successful corporate companies. So it's not realistic to think like, I'm going to have this fantastic, website or product
Yeah.
or service. And really, it will be fantastic if you give it your all. But I think we can be at peace that it doesn't have to be perfected. Like the perfection is not going to ever come, because there's always going to be new things that come up or new ways you can improve it or whatever. So I think it's just a matter of getting started. Just do it. Just go for it.
Yes.
Just start offering your service, your product, your idea to the world, and more people will come to you and respect you. And as you do that, like, you don't have to know the answers right away, but even if you just are there as a resource for someone to answer their questions, you start to collect the information and the help and the resources that you do feel really comfortable as an expert or as a resource in your industry. So it's kind of hard to talk about this because it's so different for every person. And so I'm trying to think of different scenarios.
No, it's true. Because I feel like I have families telling me, whether or not it's directly me working with them or it's a conversation and they didn't end up working with me and maybe they'll come back later. They're giving me ideas or telling me what I need to create or the type of support that they need. So I think when we work for ourselves, we're constantly learning.
Yeah, absolutely.
From our clients, from our customers.
And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about with the mom guilt, that I think, like you're saying, like, it's something that really enhances who you are when you challenge yourself with something. So whether it be business or a hobby, I mean, I think that's the reality. Like, some women feel guilty if it's work, but the interesting thing is that they might have a hobby that pulls them away just as much. But I mean, it's just, why not do something that you love and enjoy and get paid for it? And it will help support your family, not only because it enhances you, but also because it might help your family financially, whether whether you're the primary breadwinner or if you are just looking for some supplemental income to help enjoy life and go have vacations or something like that. I think that's what we really,
more freedom.
Just do something that fits your life for what you want. So there's so many options. There's so much opportunity. So
I agree. And there's opportunity for every single one of us. Every single one. There's enough to go around for all of us.
Yep.
Strongly believe that.
Yep.
So, well, it was such a pleasure speaking with you. I had so much fun having you on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it also.
Yeah. We will definitely have to collaborate and keep in touch for sure.
We would love to. We've got lots of mamas that I think would love some guidance and help.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Lynette. It was such a pleasure having you on. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Amanda. You too. Bye, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to Parenting with a Punch. Make sure to catch us next week so you can see who our special guest is then. And remember, keep asking for more. You deserve it. Your family deserves it. And I also want to encourage, for anyone that catches the live replay, I have a new opener. So check out the audio. You're going to love it. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.
Yo, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Class is in session. Please be seated. Behaviors that get attention get repeated. Avoid the power struggle cause it will get you heated. Listen to Amanda cause she knows how to teach it. Yo, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Yeah.